Basically, I got into Longreach through the Longreach toothpaste. That is what brought me into Longreach. And today, I call myself a network marketing professional because I've gone through the cycle, I've gone through the training, and today here I am. So it's just the Longreach toothpaste that brought me into network marketing. My first ever network marketing company is Longreach International. How I got into contact with the toothpaste basically is because my wife had a toothache and then we needed solution. And the only solution we had, aside extraction of the teeth, was the toothpaste of Longreach, as recommended by most dentists. And behold, truly within a space of 3 days, we had our solution. And up to today, we've not seen the toothache coming back again. Thanks to God, and then credit to Longreach International. So basically, that is how the journey has been, how I got into the business.
Thank you so much for that brief intro. And I believe everybody heard what he said, how he came into this platform. It was just through the toothpaste. And the essence was not to come and do business, but just to come and get issues resolved. Now, SD Kennedy, I want to ask you this question. Can you tell us about a time when you faced a situation where you had to start something from scratch with minimal or no resources? How did you handle it, and what were the results?
Yeah, I think that was the turning point in my professional accounting career. After school, when I started, I used to work with one very big hospital in Ghana here, a private hospital. And along the line, I had a lot of small clients that I had to be working for after work, and sometimes weekends. So I do my main accounting work with one company at full time, and I had to do these small works also on the side, which is actually my passion, doing my own thing and solving problems. I got to a point where these smaller clients became bigger than the one company that I worked for full time. So I had to fix and then give the smaller ones more attention. As most people will say, if you are not careful, your side hustle, which is a network marketing business, may overtake your main hustle, which is your plan A. So I had to stop and then pay attention to the smaller ones. And I exited not on a pleasant note because you resign and 1 year you've not been accepted, has not been accepted. Then all of a sudden, you say you've accepted when you were not prepared. So now I needed to build my small accounting firm because I had also lost some of the key clients because I wasn't giving them attention. At that point, I had nothing except for my wife teaching salary, and then some small allowances from some of these clients. And starting from nothing, I still have to move on. So the question is, where do I start from? Was it a good decision to have resigned and didn't leave, even though they didn't accept my resignation and waited till when they took me by surprise? Or what do I do? So I just believed in myself. I went after my passion because my passion is to solve problems of small companies. Most of these companies could not afford the services of chartered accountants. Meanwhile, they needed them. They needed us to solve tax problems, to solve bookkeeping problems, but they couldn't afford it. And I had a solution for them. You know what? Let me fix the problem. Let me put systems in place. And then just pay me either half or a quarter of what you pay a full-time accountant. And I just come to your office once or twice. So it was a very big deal for me. And I had to go round, persistence and focus. I was able to break through, and I started having big clients. Another situation where I found myself in where I had to start from scratch is when I started my network marketing business. You know, and notice in network marketing, wanting to build a network marketing business wasn't that easy, especially after I had my upline, Mama UK, coming all the way to Ghana to explain the business to me down here in Ghana. Then after her explanation, I was like, what? I think this is the kind of business I need as a side hustle. So I took it up and I wanted to build up this business. But I also realized that, you know what, to build this business, it is best if I became a stockist. Because then there were shortage of products at the time. We didn't have enough products on the market. And I realized that the best move I could make is to find money and then stock a lot of products because I was ready to go all out. And when I go all out, I don't want situations where I need products and I couldn't find them. So I had to look for money. And I didn't have the money to do a stocking. And one thing I decided to do was to borrow. To borrow. And I borrowed with confidence because I knew what I was in for. And when I borrowed, it made me become more serious about my business because I had debt I had to pay. And that is also another thing I did. And once I did that, it motivated me to learn more, to be creative, to come up with more innovative ideas that would let the business work. And the only thing I did was to solve the problems that the other leaders were not ready to solve. The basic things that they wouldn't be ready to clean is what I was ready to clean. The attention they were not giving to people is what I was ready to give the attention. The markets where they had abandoned is where I wanted to go into and revive those markets. And that is how I was able to make it. One of the mistakes I ever made is going to share my vision or my dream with people I trust, with expectation that they will hold my hand, they will provide me with the resources, they will motivate me to get to that dream or to get that problem solved. But what I get in return is they are even the people who will tell you that this dream is too big. It cannot work. We have seen it before. I have a friend who tried doing it and it failed. You will waste your time and it cannot work. They will give you all the principles. They will give you all the reasons why you must give up. We call them dream killers. That is
okay.
Number two has been the systems that need to support the dream to become a reality. For example, you face frustrations from regulators. Regulators here, I'm not referring to only government institutions and government systems. If I take our own beloved Longreach business, for example, you will have the Longreach company itself even coming up with policies that will break you down. That will make you feel like the business is ending. You will need, the time you even need products, you're going to do bigger presentations, and now you need products, and there are no products. The very time you have brought people on board, giving them hopes that they can qualify for incentives within 3 months, within social and so period, then they stop that particular incentive or that promotion, or they tighten the requirements of the promotion. The time you need your uplines, the people who promise you heaven and earth, that they will help you, they will be there for you when the time comes. You get to that time and they are not even available sometimes. Not to talk about other SDs, other leaders who are in the business, who are not in your genealogy, frustrating you because they've seen that this guy, this lady, this person can be something else. And instead of them seeing you as a brother and somebody who will complement to make the system work, they rather see you as a threat. And they will try doing everything humanly possible to bring you down. But one thing they forget is that you are only a vision bearer. You are only a vision bearer. And that is what most of us fail to see. That you have come into a business, you have a vision, you are the one who have the interaction or the conversation with your maker, and he showed you the way. That person wasn't there. So why give up because of frustrations around you? No. So that is one of the obstacles that you need to cross. You yourself must remain positive, and when these obstacles come around you, find a way to create opportunity out of those obstacles. And I'll give just one example. Just one example. For example, when I started my language business way back 2018, 17, 18, thereabouts, I had a situation whereby there were promotions that are not posted in the back office. And I was, let's say, the first person under my up ranks here is not in Ghana. So before I get to know a promotion, it's about a week to expire. Because I'm not on platforms where the leaders share this information on. Somebody would have said, how can this business be like that? This is not right. It's not a good business. I'll stop. No, I didn't stop. I rather try to fix that problem. I just couldn't comprehend a big company like this, the way I've seen it, and they can't communicate information at the back office. So I forced my way into management. I forced my way into approaching the manager. I forced my way into approaching the administrators. And I asked them, how can your company run like this? No, they have to change the way they do things. And as I started doing that, the leaders themselves adapted me into leadership. I wasn't even Diamond 4 yet, but they adapted me into leadership, and we started changing things. And that is how come even in Ghana, when most of the top leaders left, we were able to come together, work together, help the business, and today we are seeing what is happening in Ghana.
Okay, SD, let me translate a little bit for French people who are here. It is so wonderful to hear you. Le SD Kennedy dit qu'il a un homme de vision. Et clairement, je lui ai demandé quelles sont les difficultés qu'il a rencontrées pendant qu'il est en train de mettre en œuvre le business. Il a dit qu'en tant qu'homme de vision, la première des choses qu'il a eu à faire, c'est d'amener ses partenaires à le suivre dans sa vision. Partager sa vision avec ses partenaires. Deuxième chose, essayer de suivre les formations, de renforcer sa capacité. Mais au moment où il se met dans la bataille pour travailler, pour gagner des challenges, il y a des ruptures de produits, ce que nous sommes en train de vivre actuellement. Mais il ne s'est pas découragé, il continue de chercher là où il y a des produits et il travaille avec les produits qui existent sur le terrain pour le moment. Il a également parlé des parrains et des marraines. À un moment donné, ils ont perdu leur parrain qui a laissé le business carrément, mais lui, il s'est rapproché des filleuls. Ils se sont pris ensemble avec d'autres leaders pour réorganiser le business au niveau du Ghana. Et l'autre chose, il y a eu un challenge qui n'a pas été publié dans le back-office, mais lui, il a pris sur lui l'engagement d'aller voir le manager, d'aller poser des questions pour demander pourquoi on brime les Ghanéens de cette façon, et il a ramené tout dans l'ordre. OK? Donc, voilà un peu ce que je peux dire à tous les francophones qui sont là. By the next question, I can try to read it very quickly for you. It's to ask you, SD, when you face these limited resources, how do you prioritize where to allocate those resources to maximize the business chance of success? We know that you try to begin with nothing, but when you get resources, what do you do with them and how you prioritize? Thank you very much, SD.
It's very simple. There's an adage that says that for you to catch a fish, you need to use a fish to catch a fish. I believe most of us are familiar with this. You can't catch a fish without giving a fish. So you find yourself with limited resources. All you have to do is make sure that limited resources, you use them in a way that it will generate another resource. Let me give you a scenario. I had a boy, I always say this. I had a boy who didn't have money to start this business. He didn't have even the starter pack money. He didn't have the money. If I convert the starter pack in Ghana to US dollars, just 1 second. At that time, if you want to start a business, you needed about $12 to start a business. And I had this boy who didn't have $12 to start a business. All that this boy had at the time was, let's say, $2.5. That is limited resources, isn't it? the person needed $12 to start the business, but the person was having only $2.5. Ordinarily, you cannot start a business. Is that not so? But
Yes.
what did this boy do? The $2.5, the guy bought one single product of language, the bamboo taco soap. And that product contains 3 cubes of the soap. Then he opened the box and retailed it one by one. And when he finished selling, he then earned $5. Then he used the $5 to buy 2 packs of the soap. And then to retail it again to generate another revenue. And this time around, he made $10 from the 2 packs. Then he used the $10 to buy 4 packs. And this time around, he had $20 and he registered to do the business.
Wow.
He started the business with $2.5. And he just bought one single and turned it around. I will give you another scenario. Another scenario. As an SD in the business, and this is my 6th year in the business, there are several car funds that I have generated or I have been rewarded with. But I've not found it necessary buying something very luxury, like some people may do. Oh, because it's network marketing. You need to buy a good car so that people will see that, yes, you got a car. You need to buy a good house so people will see that you have a good house because you are making it. Hey, I didn't come into the business for houses and cars. That wasn't the vision. The vision was to solve problems. So, every year when I qualify for something, the money I made, I reinvest it into a business that generates more money to provide more support, even if language is going down. So I started by setting up a support center. Because I realized that language didn't have a support center where you can call and make inquiries, you can go to a website and get one-stop information and all that. So I invested in that. Because I knew one day I become an SD. My team members will grow bigger, and I didn't have time for everyone. So create a system that will provide that support. Then I realized that if you don't have bank accounts, language does not pay you your commission. The money stays with language and you earn nothing from it. So what did I do next? I set up a credit union, a microfinance bank purposely for languages with my own money. And I give loans to language members who are near qualifying for an incentive to balance their legs. Because I realized the Chinese were cheating us. Sometimes they are to get 5,000 PVs, 2,000 PVs to qualify for something, and you lose it because you couldn't balance your legs. Hey, your bank cannot give you loan because they don't trust network marketing. Come to PGW Credit Union, we will give you that money, and you go and balance your legs, get your incentive, pay us from the incentive, use the rest for something else. Then now,
yes,
for the last time, another thing I just did when I became LP, I qualified for 10 cars. And in total, it was about $150,000. And I decided that, you know what, I don't need any luxury car. I just bought a mini bus just to start a transport business. And passengers who sit on the bus, they get to enjoy our Codicet coffee, watch language videos, and they watch presentations. And at the same time, we can do deliveries across cities on daily basis. And we tried the first week, last week, Monday to Saturday, and it was super. This is how I want to solve problems, and this is how I use money, limited resources to generate new resources, and then I can use it to do something else.
This is wonderful, SD. Let me translate to French people in the call. Mes chers amis, notre SD, il est tellement, il a des initiatives très louables et il nous a donné l'exemple de quelqu'un qui a commencé seulement avec $2,5 pour acheter un paquet de cartons de savon. Ce paquet, la personne est allée vendre le savon et a gagné $5 sur le premier paquet. Il est revenu acheter 2 autres paquets. Il a gagné $10. Il est revenu acheter 4 autres paquets. Il a gagné $20. et il est revenu maintenant s'inscrire proprement. Voilà un exemple de quelqu'un qui est parti avec pratiquement zéro pour pouvoir s'inscrire. Il a donné un autre exemple. Pour les challenges qu'il a gagnés, lui, il estime que faire le business et s'exhiber avec des voitures et des maisons, ce n'est pas le but. Le but pour lui, c'est de mettre en place un centre pour aider ses filleuls, pour aider ses partenaires. Donc, ils ont créé un centre où les partenaires pouvaient venir prendre des informations et se former. La deuxième chose, il a mis en place un prêt pour ses partenaires et ceux qui sont proches de la qualification et ils analysent, ils leur font le prêt, ils gagnent le challenge, ils viennent rembourser et ils prennent le reste des fonds pour faire leurs propres activités et évoluer dans le business. La dernière chose, pour les dernières qualifications de voitures qui sont passées, il a gagné plusieurs voitures, donc il a mis tous les fonds ensemble pour acheter un bus, carrément. Donc, il a acheté le bus et quand le bus s'est mis en service, ils ont lancé ça il n'y a pas longtemps, le bus a été mis en service et quand vous rentrez dans le bus, vous consommez le café de Longreach. Et si vous êtes nouveau, vous n'avez jamais connu la compagnie, on vous parle de la compagnie, vous rejoignez la compagnie. Donc, voilà ce que SD a partagé avec nous et je vais aller à la prochaine question. Thank you, SD. I try to translate for our French people. I will go to the next question now. Just be patient. I'm going to the question. It is so wonderful to hear what you have done for your people in Ghana. I hope you are sharing with us now. And they are asking us now, how do you do plan to build a network of support and partnership when starting business with nothing? You have just explained it. And what strategies or method will you use? Spontaneous question will come later. SD, you have explained it, but you have more time now to give us more strategy because it is very well to hear you, how you gather your team, how you train your team, and how you put loans to them. A lot of SDs cannot do it, but you have it. Give us more strategy if you have them. Thank you very much. You have the floor.
I sincerely believe that all the strategies in succeeding this business, most of us have heard it over and over and over and over. And there is no secret. The only thing most of us lack is to focus, to remain consistent, to be positive, and persist. To focus, to remain consistent, be positive, and persist.
Okay.
These four principles are very key. For example, we all know we don't have enough toothpaste coming in from Longreach in recent times, and we are all used to the toothpaste. Some people feel that if there are no toothpaste, then there is shortage. But some are also taking advantage in promoting the available products. So instead of complaining, don't you create opportunities within the problem? Now, when you have limited resources, it implies that then you have to plan very well. You need to plan very well. And after you have planned on what you want to achieve, you need to sit down and do what we call a risk-based analysis. When you say risk-based analysis, identify things that will prevent you from getting to your goal. Once you are able to identify the things that will prevent you from getting to your goal, the next thing is what can you do to either avoid those problems or when those problems occur, how will you manage them? 2, what can you do to avoid the problem from occurring? Or if they occur, what can I do to manage them so that it doesn't affect my goal? I know for sure that once you become SD, and Mama Titi told me this, and most of our directors have told me this, that then when you become SD, that is when you get to see your team members criticizing you And now you are not available. Now you don't do training. Now when they call, you don't pick. When they send a message, you don't. So to avoid my team members from accusing me of this, I created a system of support that they can rely on. They can say, so that before I become SD, that system is already there. And truly, when I became SD, I realized that most people would want to chat me directly. They need your attention. And it's not as if the information you will give them will be different from what a support system will give them. So I still have to invest in the support system so that my team can have more confidence in dealing with them. So that I can pay attention to more critical national issues like product shortage. These ones, my staff cannot do it. My team, some of them cannot solve it. So I have to go and pay attention to it. So until you identify what the risk could be, you cannot design a model that can prevent or manage them when they occur. Next week, for example, I'm organizing this conference only for my team members, a 4-day power pack training. Why did I come up with this? Because I realized that most of the new members and the leaders that are coming up, they are having challenges. Some don't understand the business. They don't understand the basic principles about the business. So once I've identified the gap, once I've identified the risk, that will prevent my team members from becoming an SD. I designed a solution, and that is a training, a camp that I will sponsor fully. The snacks, the conference materials, the lunch, everything. Nobody should pay anything. When they do well and they succeed, I will also earn. If they don't succeed, I also don't earn. So my interest is to see to it that the team members are succeeding. And if they can succeed, they need to be empowered. They need to be trained. And that is why I have to do something like this. So the only thing is that remain focused, be positive, be consistent, and be persistent. And if you want to do this, then you need, it's a necessity that have a goal, identify what can prevent you from getting there, and close the gap by coming up with things that will solve the specific things or risk that will prevent you from getting there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SD. This is wonderful. Thank you so much.
I just want to say a big thank you for him for hosting this series. This is what we can do as SDs and leaders across the globe. I want to thank his fellow leaders who are supporting him, like you yourself, and then Madam Haggett. Thank you all. I want to thank all those who have been joining these trainings. This is our only way of getting empowered from time to time. You don't have to stop training. Footballers, professional footballers, never stop training. Each day they go on the field. They do the same training over and over. And each time they train, they acquire new skills. You just check Ronaldo, check Messi and the rest. Why do you like them? You like them because anytime they get on the pitch, they come up with something new. And we love them. So we cannot stop training. So when we see trainings like this, meetings like this, please let's be in a hurry to embrace it and be an agent of change in this business. Stop joining those who are speaking evil, negative about our beloved long race. I love you all. Thank you very much. God bless you.